What is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to break down the top 10 mistakes that most Amazon sellers make. Now, nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes, but the truth is a lot of these mistakes can be prevented just by watching this video. You've probably seen a lot of other Amazon sellers in the FBA Facebook groups where they say they lost tons of money and it even ruined their life because they didn't do a certain thing. So just by watching this video, you can prevent those mistakes so you don't end up in the same boat. But before we get into it, like I always say, if you could like this video, hit that thumbs up until it turns blue, comment down below, subscribe to the channel so you could stay updated with new videos every week. And just by doing that, by liking my videos and commenting down below, I do a giveaway at the end of every month where I give away my Amazon course or a $100 prize, so keep an eye out for that. But enough of this boring talk, let's dive deep into my computer right now and break down the top 10 mistakes that most Amazon sellers make. Let's go. Alright guys, so like I said, we're going to go over the top 10 most common mistakes. Obviously, there are way more other mistakes that you can make out there, but I'm going to cover the most important ones. So we're going to start it off from the smallest mistakes, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to reveal the biggest mistakes that most people make. A lot of these mistakes stem from product research, and you'll see what I mean when we get into the video right now. So one of the mistakes is new sellers will jump on Amazon and they want to buy a UPC code. If you buy them from certain sites, they cost more than other sites, so they go the cheap route. They go to websites like this one right here. It's called Barcodes Mania or Nationwide Barcode, and this used to work back in the days when I started Amazon FBA, but in the last year Amazon has got really strict with their UPC barcodes and they only allow you to use GS1 barcodes. So I'm going to go to gs1.org right here, and this is where you're going to buy your UPC barcodes to sell on Amazon. Now, most people think you need a UPC barcode to sell on Amazon, but that is not the truth. You could actually apply for a thing called G10 exemption, which means you don't need a UPC code for your product and you use Amazon's FNSKU barcode. I know this might sound confusing because you're just starting to learn about Amazon FBA, but all you do, just go to google.com and type in G10 exemption Amazon, and you'll get to this page and they tell you what you need to do to apply for G10 exemption. It doesn't work for everyone, but in most cases, you could apply for G10 exemption and you just send them a couple of pictures of your product. And if you are approved, you don't need those expensive UPC barcodes. I bought them off of gs1.org because I went the expensive route, the safe route, the most common route. It's $250 for 10 different UPC codes. I always thought I'm only going to use one UPC code, but after I launched my first product, I launched another product. So you do use them if you keep selling on Amazon. They are great because it tracks your inventory and you could sell outside of Amazon with these UPC barcodes, and they are the Amazon standard. Now, the second mistake is people will get their account suspended or flagged because they do something against Amazon's rules, like getting reviews from their parents, from their friends, from their family. Somehow Amazon can link most of those family members and they see that it's coming from a family member, and then they either flag your account for review manipulation, meaning you can't get reviews on your products for a certain amount of time, or they can suspend your account for review manipulation. This also comes with like sales rank manipulation if you're using one link to sell your product and a lot of people are clicking that link for a discount. There's a lot of different services out there that could get your account suspended because they do black hat tactics. So you got to watch out for that. Play by Amazon's rules and you will be safe. But if you find some service that says you could get to page 1 in one day and you get 50 reviews in one day, chances are you will get suspended because that is not common Amazon seller behavior. So always make sure that you get recommendations from people that actually use the service and it's a safe service, because you don't know what will get you suspended if you're just starting to sell on Amazon and one day you might get hit with that account suspension and now you have all this inventory. You spent all this time and money on your product and you can't even sell it because you broke Amazon's rules. So always play it safe with Amazon and you will be fine. Now, the next mistake I see quite often is new sellers don't differentiate the product. They sell what is already being sold on Amazon. So I'll show you an example. So if we go to Amazon, I typed in barbecue gloves, and if you look right here, these are barbecue gloves, and then they come with this little spatula brush and then these little claw things. But if you come up here, you could see the same exact thing. So what's going to make a customer buy this one over this one that has over 1,800 reviews and this one only has 30 reviews. So this person is probably getting sales, but they're spending a lot of money on PPC, which is advertising. They're trying to get that product to page 1. So people are most likely going to go with this one because it's the same exact thing and they have way more reviews. This one is cheaper, so I give them that. They do have a better price, so customers might choose this one because it's cheaper, but most of the time people look at the pictures first and then the reviews and then the price. So keep that in mind. You always want to add value to your product and always ask yourself the question, what would make a customer buy mine over this seller that has a couple hundred reviews? If you could answer that, then you have a good product that you could differentiate. If it looks like the same exact product and everything is the same, then you will have a hard time trying to compete. It's going to be a price war. You're going to have to drop your price. They're going to drop their price, and you guys have the same exact product, so there's nothing to differentiate it. Now, sometimes you can sell the same exact thing if the listing is really bad, if it's not optimized, if the pictures are horrible. You might be able to jump in with your listing, which looks really good, and get more sales than that other seller, even though it's the same exact thing. So there are different ways on how you could compete against other sellers on Amazon, but that is just one mistake. Another thing is sellers will sell a product that is seasonal or there's not much demand and there's too many sellers selling that product and there's not enough sales to go around to all of the sellers. Now I always use this as an example. I typed in cheese board and then I use X-ray right here. And one thing you want to do is you want to look at their sales data. So we go right here to where it says sales and we're going to click on the chart of the top seller right here. They did $648,000 in the last month. So I'm going to click right here and then you could see the history of their sales. So if we go right here to 1 year, we could see the full year picture and it looks like they launched in November. So we can't really see anything past that. So there's not really any good data. So from here, you would jump on Google Trends, type in cheese board, and I will do that right now. So we type in cheese board right here. And then we hit search. And this gives you a picture of what people are typing in on Google. So it's a little different than Amazon, but it still gives you a pretty good picture. So you could see not that many people are searching for cheese board. And then going into Christmas and the holiday season, a lot of people search that keyword. So that is a seasonal product. So if you do your research right now, you're looking at last month's numbers. And if we look at the time we are at right now, we're in January. So we're seeing the sales from December. So you want to make sure that the product sells year round if you're not trying to sell a seasonal or trending product. You want to have demand throughout the year, and then obviously all products will pick up into Christmas time, but you don't want to sell a product that just sells during Christmas because then what money are you making on all of the other months? So that is one thing to look at. There's other ways to look at search volume history, which I've gone over in my other videos, but you get the point. You got to make sure that it's not a trending or seasonal product so you could have a good product that sells year round. Now, another thing I see a lot is a lot of people get scammed. Either it's a service or people are trying to say that they'll sell you their Amazon business. And most of the time, a lot of these people on the Amazon FBA Facebook groups are either scams or they don't have that much experience and they are trying to prey on the lazy people. So keep an eye out for that. If it sounds too good to be true, then it is probably not true. Don't fall for it. If they say they could rank your product to page 1 within a couple days, you got to think and say, hey, that seems way too good to be true. And don't send them your money because chances are you will send them money and you'll never hear from them again. A lot of these people live in countries that are restricted from selling on Amazon. So what they do is they learn how to sell on Amazon on YouTube videos and they think that they're a professional. So don't always believe what you see in the FBA Facebook groups or in the messages. A lot of bad information is out there which can get your account suspended. One other mistake that I see is people jump on other people's listings. So they get hit with like an IP infringement and they get kicked off of that listing. Now they have a ton of inventory and they don't have a listing to sell it on. So you always want to create your own listing. You're doing your own private label brand. So you don't want to jump on another listing where they might have a trademark or a patent, and then they're going to send you letters to get off of their listing or kick you off using brand registry. So you always want to have your own pictures, create your own listing, which might lead to your inventory being stranded. And now you have a ton of inventory and you don't know how to sell it. So the next mistake has to do with patents or trademarks. You always want to make sure that you're not selling a patented product because you might get it. You might get the product manufactured, even though it's patented. China doesn't know they send patented products all the time. So your product might arrive at Amazon, it might sell for a week, and then you get hit with an IP infringement claim. So you don't want to sell a patented product. If it's a really complex product, like say a sock with a pocket and a zipper, you want to check on that. You could use Google or you could hire someone on Upwork or Fiverr and they could do a deep patent search for you. But if it's a simple product like a plate or like a napkin holder, those are not going to have patents unless there's something really special about it, like it's a levitating napkin beacon holder, but chances are a lot of those types of products in home decor, like shelves that hang on a wall, those are not going to have patents. So if it's a really complex product, you always want to make sure that it doesn't have a patent. And you could also tell if it has a patent if there's only like one top seller and a lot of other sellers are pretty new or they don't have many reviews, and that top seller is making a majority of the sales. They probably have a patent, but you always want to check on that before you launch the product so you don't lose a ton of money. So here's another thing I see quite often is new sellers will order like 1,000 units or 5,000 units, and then they launch that product, they didn't do their product research, and now that product failed, and they have a lot of inventory left that is costing storage fees and PPC fees. They're trying to move that inventory, and it is just not working out. So one way to figure out how much inventory you should order, I know there's limits right now, but if these limits were lifted, you always want to start small because you want to test the product. You want to make sure that it sells well. And the worst case scenario is you run out of stock, you sell all of that inventory, and you have to wait for more inventory to arrive. So always order the least quantity that you can. 200 is a good starting point. If you have to do 500, then you could do that as well. But what you want to do is you want to use X-Ray, which comes with Helium-10. If you didn't know, I do have a discount code down below. But click right here, and then it's going to show you the daily amount of sales per month. So right here where it says sales, that's how many units they are selling in a month. So you want to look at new sellers that just jumped into the market. So like this one right here, in their first month, they sold 39 units. So that's kind of how you could track how much inventory you will need. Obviously, you're not going to start on page 1, but it also depends if you're doing giveaways, giving your products to micro influencers. If you have a discounted price at launch, you have to have enough inventory to fulfill those orders. But you always want to look at the new sellers, see how much they are selling each month, because your goal is to get on page 1. And then you could also scroll down to the bottom of page 1 or go to page 2. Look at the new sellers that just hopped in the market, like this one with 0 reviews. They've only sold 4 units, so you always want to look at these numbers to determine how much inventory you will order, because you don't want to order too much. It's going to cost you a lot in storage fees, and you have a ton of inventory that might not sell. So always test the market before you place a huge order. Now the next mistake is almost the most common that I've seen. A lot of people sell a product that they want to sell. They have a passion product and they want to launch it on Amazon, and that's fine. You could do that, but don't expect it to do well. And sometimes you need a ton of money to sell that product, and chances are you can't compete with the big brands or Amazon that are selling that product. So for example, sometimes people will launch like a cell phone case on Amazon, and that's a very competitive market. Sellers have thousands of reviews. A lot of them are Chinese manufacturers. So what's going to make someone buy your cell phone case over the other people out there? So that's why it's important to learn how to do product research and what to look for. I have a ton of videos on that, so I'm not going to go step by step in this video, but you want to make sure that the product is selling, it has high demand, and not too much competition. And there are ways to differentiate your product and make it stand out from the others, because if you sell a product that is in a very competitive market, you will need a lot more money to compete when it comes to advertising and ranking your product. So always do your product research. That's why I always say use product research software like Helium-10. It doesn't have to be Helium-10, but these give you good ideas and estimates of what the other sellers are doing, so you're not jumping into Amazon blind. You could see a good picture of what to expect, and that will limit a lot of costly mistakes that you would have never known about, because PPC can add up, storage fees can add up. So you always want to check your margins, run your numbers before you launch that product, because I've also seen people launch a product and every sale they get, they lose money because they didn't factor in the storage fees, how big the product is. They didn't realize how much it would cost to ship from China to Amazon, and then how much it costs to fulfill those orders on Amazon. So you always want to look at the numbers and do the proper product and keyword research before you launch that product. That's the number one mistake I see that happens often. They sell a product in a very competitive niche, or they didn't do enough research, and they find out the hard way that it's a bad product. Now, there's no guarantee a product is going to be successful, but these tools give you a pretty good idea of what to expect. And even if that product fails, that doesn't mean to give up. Sometimes people launch one product, fail, they launch another product, they fail there, and then their third product is a success. So don't expect every product to be a winner, and don't give up if you get hit with like a roadblock on Amazon. There's always ways to improve and keep going with your business. Most successful people fail many times before actually making it to the top. So always remember that when you get hit with a roadblock, just remember what your goals are, and you could keep moving forward. Now, I know there was kind of a lot of information in this video, but there's a lot of other videos on my channel that go over product research, what to look for. If you need any help with your own product research or Amazon business, check out all my services down below. They're very affordable compared to the rest out there, and I actually do help a lot of students out who get results. So check all of those links out right down below, but that is it for this video. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.